because his soul, column 3, detests the foundation of knowledge of the judgments of righteousness. Therefore he will not be reckoned among the upright, because he is not steadfast in the conversion of his life. Nor shall his knowledge, his power, his riches be brought into the council of the community. Whoever plows the mud of wickedness shall return defiled. And he will not be justified by what his stubborn heart permits, because he looks upon darkness instead of the ways of light. Paul, 1 Corinthians, all things are lawful to me. You know, and those people who worry about pollution of the idols, they have weak consciences. There are no forbidden foods. Anyway, opposites as always. In the spring or eye of the perfect ones he shall not be counted, nor shall he be cleansed. You see, you can go into immersions, baptism, ritual immersions, but he cannot be cleansed by any atonements, but purified by any waters. And here we have the idea that you do have baptism here. Nor sanctified by seas and rivers, nor purified by any waters of ablution, that is, any bathing, any baptism, any immersion will not cleanse him. Polluted shall he be all the days he rejects the judgments of God. When Josephus talks about John the Baptist, he says that he taught baptism for the body only, to purify the body only, provided the soul had already been purified beforehand by the practice of righteousness. Now that sounds a little more reasonable as far as a teaching from this period. All men do baptism, an immersion of the body only. You have to practice righteousness first. And that's what they're saying here. You practice righteousness, okay, you will be cleansed. But if you don't, you're polluted. For in the spirit of the counsel of truth of God will the ways of men and sins be atoned for, so that he may look upon the living light, and he shall be cleansed of all his sins by the Holy Spirit joining him to his truth. Here, my friends, is Holy Spirit baptism. Here the Holy Spirit is doing the cleansing, just like we get in the New Testament, but it's so different from what you're familiar with, that's all. But it's the same concept. You'll be cleansed by the Holy Spirit. I mean, that's right through the New Testament. Just in a different environment. So what? 2nd century BC, 1st century AD. You make the call at Las Vegas. And by a spirit of uprightness and humility shall his sins be forgiven. It's all related to John the Baptist type of teaching here. I'm sure John was part of this group. I can't tell what part. Leader, principal, teacher, one of the big wigs, I don't know. But there's a group here doing the same things. And by humble submission, he wasn't out there alone, he was with this group. And he, by humble submission of his soul to all the laws of God, will his flesh be washed by purifying waters and sanctified by cleansing waters. There's the immersion. You get both water immersion and Holy Spirit immersion. Couldn't be closer to things we hear from in Christianity. Let him then order his steps. He so-and-so taught baptism by water. Another person taught in 1 Corinthians in the beginning, baptism by the Holy Spirit. That's what's going on here. Let him then order his steps to walk perfectly in all the ways of God, as God commanded concerning his appointed festival, neither straying to the right or the left. We heard that now, second time, nor infringing on one of his words. Not one of his words. He who breaks one small point of the law is guilty of breaking it all, James 2:11. Thus he will be acceptable as pleasing atonement before God. You see, he is the atonement again, and he will be for him as a covenant of the eternal community. For the guide, the guides are blind, the guides are leading the blind, and the blind lead the blind, and all both will fall into the pit. Not at Qumran. For the guide, in order to communicate and teach all the sons of light the history of the sons of man, according to the kinds of their spirit, and their works, the generations, the visitation for their punishments, and the errors of their reward. Here's the visitation again. This is obviously judgment, kind of last judgment. So we can skip a bit. Then we get into the two spirits. There's a document in early Christianity, I forget what it's called. It's called anyway, it's the two ways is what it's called, I think. And it resembles this almost, the way of light and the way of darkness. It's an early Christian text that resembles this almost entirely right here. So there are the spirits of truth and unrighteousness, line 18. I don't know what happened in 19 here. And in the hand of the Prince of Lights is the government of the sons of righteousness. Now you see here it says not sons of Zadok, but sons of Zedek. So they're using them interchangeably. Some people say that's a scribal error. I don't think so. Sons of Zadok, sons of Zedek, sons of the Zadik, those are all interchangeable phraseologies. So Zadok isn't really a person as such. It's a word based on ZDK righteousness. Walking in the ways of light. In the hand of the angel of darkness of the whole government of the sons of unrighteousness. And they walk in the ways of darkness, light and dark imagery all through. Gospel of John. Anyone read it? It's full of light and dark imagery. It even speaks about the sons of light. You can look at a concordance and see where the sons of light are mentioned in the Gospels. And because of the angel of darkness, all the sons of righteousness are led astray, and all their sins, and again, Zedek, not Zadok, and iniquities, their transgressions, their infractions, and their works are under his dominion, according to the mysteries of God until the end. And all their punishments and periods and sufferings are by the malevolence of the dominion, and all the spirits of his lot cause the sons of light to stumble. Funnily enough, the spirits of his lot, Belial's lot, or the angel of darkness is Lot. You know, in Islam, Muhammad is always talking about Arabs, speak about the jinn. And here we have the Hebrew version of the jinn, what the word genie comes from. But they speak of the jinn in Islam. I mean, it comes right out of here. But the God of Israel and the angel of his truth have all the sons of light, and he created the spirits of light and darkness upon them, and so on and so forth. Column 4. And these are the ways of the world to illumine the heart of the man. So we don't have to spend a lot of time on the community rule because there's nothing mysterious about it. And there's no secret history being given us. You see what I mean? So a document like this, you can whip right through. You say, well, you're going fast. Well, there's nothing mysterious here. You could read it, and I wouldn't have to, but I'm just reading it to, pick out something that anything might be puzzling in. And truth may have been made straight before him, and still in the heart of fear of the judgments, the spirit of meekness, long-suffering patience. Here are the attributes of the spirit of righteousness, the spirit of light. Eternal goodness, intelligence, understanding, majestic wisdom, having faith in all the works of God. Faith and works together, you see. Leaning on his abundant grace or piety, a spirit of knowledge, a zeal for the judgments, zeal, zealousness, zealots of righteousness, a thoughtful holiness with imperturbable steadfastness, and abundant grace, glorious purity to all the sons of truth. Another term we have, the sons of truth. Testing all the idols of pollution. That's what we have in the Acts 15. Abstain from the pollutions of the idols.